Hello, 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 everyone. Hi, my name is Andrew Hockrattle, and you are here on YouTube this time, hanging out with us for our daily creative challenge. Usually, this is something that we do over on Behance, but 99U is happening right now. So we are here live on YouTube with all of you. Say hello in the chat. This is my first time using the YouTube chat, so I'm very excited. It's going to be very fun. Not closing our paths, working RGB for print. It's nuts. Yes, it's going to be crazy. We are working with the illustrated dish today. So we'll be using the pen tool a little bit. I'll be talking a little bit about how it works. But today is another open exploration day. No wrong way to do things. Also, we changed the audio up a little bit, so let me know how I'm coming through, how we're sounding, and we'll get started there. Great. So to get started today, hello, my name is Andrew Hockrattle. You can follow along Behance or Instagram or Twitter at hawk.co. All there, all letters, no punctuation here. Yeah, you can catch me there at certain times throughout the week. I'll be live again tomorrow night doing some branding work. So follow along on Behance and you'll get a notification when I go live. Now, another way that you can get involved is to join our Behance, bit.ly/AI Discord, Discord, bit.ly/AI Discord, right up above us. This is the place that you can get involved. You can start dropping in your daily creative challenges. That's where I'm looking when I'm giving feedback. I'll go live on my Behance to give feedback to your challenges, and I'll be looking at our Discord. So let's hop over there and see what's happening. It's my face. Let me see if I can... There we go. Nailed it. Here is where people are dropping their projects that they've been working on. It's where I give you feedback. It's also where you can get great feedback from a lot of our mentors that will be working alongside you. So I'll be in there. Our mentors will be in there giving you great feedback. And some of these projects are amazing. You guys did a great job as always. All right, so let's go ahead and hop over into what we are doing today. Today, we are continuing on with our daily creative challenge. So we are in the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. And if you want to, you can go to behance.net/challenge/illustrator, and that will take you to this page where you can sign up for our daily creative challenges. You can get our source files as well as getting old videos that may be on the way. So old videos that you may have missed, sorry, is what I meant to say there. So go back, check this out, behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Also, 99U is going on. You can tune in on behance.net/live, and you also can get more information by just going to 99u.adobe.com. Lots of cool updates happening, lots of inside sneak peeks, and some tutorials to help you get started, much like we're doing today. So next up, and yes, Jack, I'm very glad that we all made it over to YouTube. Next up, you can apply for the Adobe Creative Residency Fund. This is a fund that Adobe is pumping into the creative community, $500 to $5,000 for each project. You can apply for funding, or you can apply to be commissioned to do a project for Adobe. So great resources there. And again, you can check out all of those resources. Open a new tab, check it out, open up 99U in a secondary tab, or you can come back and watch this after the fact on that behance.net/challenge/illustrator. All right, and chat, let me know where you're watching from. It always makes me happy to see where you are watching from. So if you haven't joined us before, we are going through daily creative challenges in Illustrator through the lens of cooking. So the last week we have been doing cooking, week and a half. We have been doing cooking challenges in Adobe Illustrator, and today is no exception. We will be making an illustrated dish, and we're using the pen tool. I'm going to be teaching you the pen tool by using pasta. It's a very easy way to think about how to use the pen tool. It can get a little tricky, so we're going to start at the base and then kind of work our way up. So with that said, I think that we're ready. Let's see, 5 minutes. Yeah, I think we're ready to head over to Hawk's Kitchen. And today we're going to my favorite place, Camera 2. So let's hop into the kitchen and start learning about how to use the pen tool in Adobe Illustrator. Hey everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. Yes, Tima, you made it just in time. Welcome back to the kitchen. We are here, we are cooking, and today we will be making pasta. All kinds of different pasta using the pen tool. And I'm going to cut to a very special friend. You guys haven't seen him yet on this stream, but it is my favorite place to go, and that is our friend Camera 2. So I'm going to go to Camera 2 to help explain to you how the pen tool works. It's much easier to see in the real world than it is to kind of show through Illustrator. So I want to give you the two sides of that, and we can check it out. So let's hop over to Camera 2. There we go, Camera 2. So you can see top down, here are my hands. I don't have my nails painted right now. I probably should have for this. You guys are special enough. So here we have a bunch of pasta. And this pasta, as we can see, are really just lines, right? Oh, this one broke. Bye. Let's only grab one of these, and it will be easier for us to work with. And this pasta is kind of dried out a little bit from where we started, but I want to use the pasta to talk about the pen tool. So the pen tool is basically going to be doing anchor points. It uses anchor points, which means that it's starting at one point and stopping at another point. So yes, there are YouTube emojis. Give me some YouTube emojis. So when we look at this line right here, right, it is starting here and stopping here. Right, so we have a start point and a stop point. And so looking at that, the pen tool is putting 1 point here and 1 point here and telling the computer to go from this point to that point, right? So now what happens is on the way from this point to that point, maybe we want another point that is up here. And what we do is we'll put that other point, and the pen tool will basically start to bend this line right like that, right? So it's having 1 point there. Let's move this up there. There we go. 1 point there, 1 point there, and then 1 point up here. And instead of hitting 1 point, 1 point, 1 point to make it jagged, we're saying that it's starting at this point here, right? Heading in this direction. Okay. Then it's coming in this direction, going further this direction, and then down to this direction, right? It's basically telling us which way we are going. So we're doing those points, and then we'll pull out on these points. You'll see it will be a point, and we'll pull out something like this that has little, these are called Bezier handles. So that will pull out to basically say, we're starting at this point, going to this next point, but on the way there, we are also going out this much and out this much, right? So it will start to see, and we'll be using pasta to do this, but you'll see how these anchor points really start to pin together to explain how the pen tool works. Hopefully that's helpful to see it on paper where those points would go. But let's hop over into Illustrator. Let's hop back to the kitchen real quick, and I'll clean this up. Oh. So sorry for that noise. Workstation needs to stay clean. So let's move this pasta to the side, get this pasta out of here, and let's hop over into Adobe Illustrator, and we'll start looking at the pasta that we will be creating today. Again, you can get this source file in the page behance.net/challenge/illustrator, and let's hop on over there. So today our challenge is to create illustrated food and place it on a dish. Try using the pen tool along with anchor points and curves, excuse me. So our prompt today, let's make something delicious. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple tips and tricks to using the pen tool. And then we are going to be using different shapes that I think were helpful for the pen tool. So these are not included in your file. I couldn't include them because they're stock images. But if you just go to Google, grab an image, grab a stock image, and try to find, even on Adobe Stock, try to find something to trace over to practice. I feel like pasta is a very, very good thing to start with. So let's hop down here, and we're going to start with this pasta right here. Now, the first thing we're going to do is grab the pen tool. We can do that up here, or you can just hit P. And what the pen tool does is, I'm going to kind of click up here so you can see, is it drops down points. And it's basically telling you from this point to that point. Oops, let me go ahead and add a stroke to this so you guys can see it. There we go. So it's saying that we're starting at this point and going to this point, then the line is following this point to this point. So it's basically doing a game of tag, right? It's tagging here, tagging there, tagging here. But it can get much more interesting when we say that it is starting here and heading up, right? That it's not just going from one spot to another, right? It's starting at this spot, it is going up, and then maybe it is ending at this spot, heading to the right, right? And you can see that we have 1 point here and 1 point here, but these points also have what are called Bezier points. They have little handles here. So this is a Bezier curve. So what we can do is we can grab one of these handles and say, hey, we want it to start here and go here in an upward direction, but this upward direction needs to be more, and it's going to start to pull that curve a little bit higher, right? So let's start out easy and start using the pen tool. And again, we're just clicking on these. We're going to do this very easy, I believe it's rigatoni. So we're going to click here. And again, we're just clicking at the corners, and the pen tool is going to create these corners for us. And then we close the path by clicking back on where we started. And now, boom, we have a nice little rigatoni. It is not exactly as it was, but it's close enough. And so we've created that by, again, using those anchor points, just creating 4 anchor points. Now, let's go over here. And this is where we can start practicing a little more advanced way of doing the pen tool. So let's grab the pen tool again. And when you're working with the pen tool, you want to start at the highest, the lowest, the most left, or the most right. And that is where you will start your points. So what we're going to do is we are going to outline this, but I'm going to start right here on this edge. And I'm going to say that we're starting at this point, and then we are heading downward, right? So we are clicking, holding, and dragging down. We're holding shift as well. If you don't hold shift, it will go every which way. So we're holding shift to make that perfectly symmetrical up and down. And that is the most right point. Now we want to go to the next point, which is the most left, which is right here. And so we want to say this is our next point, but we're not just stopping here. We are clicking and dragging, continuing down. Okay, and so then we're just going to keep repeating this, that now we have our most right point, that we are clicking and we are not stopping, we are continuing down and back into here, same thing. So that it is saying that, hey, this line is hitting these points, but then continuing through these points. So then maybe this one will end up here. There we go. So we have a problem here that this is too much, but it's great because what we can do is we can hit A or come to our direct selection tool, select this point here, and we can just drag this handle back up, right? To say that, hey, it is hitting this point, but instead of going all the way down, it's just going down a little bit to the next point. So you can keep playing with that and drag those points manually. Then we're going to click here and say, hey, it's not stopping here. We're clicking here and then dragging to the right because it is heading that direction. And then we'll continue. There's another point to the most left, heading upward, clicking and dragging up. Another point in here, right? And this one is a little bit of a corner. So we're just going to click into this corner. Then we'll come over here, again, heading upward, stopping at the corner. And one more time, heading upward, clicking and dragging. And then we're going to round out right at the top here. Again, clicking and dragging because it is heading to the right. Then it gets a little bit wonky here. But let's just, let's do this. So let's click here. And let's finish this by saying that this is coming in at that angle, right? So now we can go in and kind of look at some of the incongruities, the issues that we have. One issue is that this is not coming out far enough. So we're going to grab our direct selection tool, grab this anchor point, and again, it is going from this point to this point, but right now it's too much of a straight line. So we want it to say we want to go from this point to this point, but go out this much. So we're going to drag this out so we can have a little bit more of that curve. And as you can see, now it's a little more gradual, which is what we want. Now we also missed a piece right here, right? It is telling it to go up too much toward that next point. So again, we're just going to grab this handle and then holding shift, click and drag to say, hey, we want it to go up, but not quite that much. There we go. And now we've got a nice little rotini. A nice little rotini noodle. Kind of fun, right? All right, let's do one or two more, and then we can start plating these, and I'll show you how to plate them together. And if you have any questions about the pen tool as we go, I know it can be complicated, so let me know if you have any questions about that. So we're not going to do these little ridges. You can for extra credit. It gets a little bit taxing and a little bit detailed, but we're going to trace out this noodle shape. So we're going to go to the pen tool. We're going to start again at the top, the bottom, the left, or the right. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And this point is starting here, heading in this direction, right? Heading toward the right. And then next, it is going to hit this point, which is our next most right point. And it is going to keep heading in an upward direction, right? Our paths are already a little bit off, but the great thing is we can go back and augment those. So now the most left, there's a little divot here. Right? It's going to be heading in an upward direction, and then it looks like it actually stops here. And I'm going to show you a quick way to round out some of these corners, that if you have perfectly rounded corners like what's happening here, you can just click on these corners like that. And then when we zoom in, we can grab the direct selection tool again, which is just A, and grab this corner. And we can click this little node, and that will actually round it out for us. So we don't have to worry about doing that weird rounding using the pen tool. Kind of fun, right? So then we can jump back onto that path by using the pen tool, clicking here at the end, and you'll see it turns into a slash. That just means that you're continuing that path. So again, we are heading in an upward direction. There's a plane flying outside my window. Sorry about that. And then we are going to come right back up here. All right, and then finishing at the top, we are going to pull this, and we are heading in a right direction right over that. So now we can come back and fix some of these issues that we found. I want to make sure that these are lining up top and bottom. So I'm just going to pull this back here to make sure. There we go. Perfect. So now we have some issues that we need to fix. Again, we're going to hit A to use the direct selection tool, and I'm telling this to go out too far. And this is a great example that we're starting at this point. So we're starting at this point here, heading toward this point here, but I'm telling it to go all the way out past that point. That's not what we want. So we're going to drag this in just a little bit. There we go. And now it looks like it's going to that point a little bit better. So in this point, again, is going too far up. So I'm going to grab this and pull it down and see if we can get a little more of that curve happening on the way that we want it to. There we go. Yep. Looks good. And again, this is too much. So we're going to pull this in so it's a little bit less intense. There we go. So it's all about making those points and then kind of augmenting those handles to create some really awesome curves. So next, what we can do is we can actually transform, reflect, and we're going to come over here and go to vertical and hit copy. And that's going to make a vertical copy for us. And we are going to make sure that these anchor points line up and touch each other on either side. Then we will right click and hit join. And now we have a nice little pasta shape. A little pasta. It's a little pasta. It's an impasta. I'm sorry. All right, let's do one more, and this is going to be showing you the power of where you place your start and stop points, as well as the direction that it's heading, right? So we're going to work from the top to bottom on this next piece of pasta. And what we're going to do is start again on the most right point. So you're either starting the furthest right, the furthest left, or the furthest top, or the furthest bottom. So we're going to start on the right here. And we're clicking, and this path will be heading downward. So I'm holding shift, and I'm saying it's heading down to the next point, which will be over here, which is the furthest left point that we want. And then it will be continuing to head down. So you can see we got that really nice curve happening. And then this will be ending. Let's say that it ends right there. All right, so let's hit enter. So if you ever get stuck with just extra point happening like this, you can hit enter and it will commit that shape, and then you can come back and kind of augment and move. So this is going to be heading up. There we go. And we want it to move over to that side. There we go. So that curve is perfectly telling us where we want to go, but it looks like this is coming down too much. So again, we're going to select this using A, and just drag this handle up until we have it on the curve that we want. There we go. So it's saying on these points, we are starting here. Well, we're starting here. swooping to this point, then this point to this point, we are swooping downward as we go between those two, and then landing right here. So we're going to keep that going, but I'm actually going to just click and drag this down, right? We're going to try to make this a symmetrical pasta. So let's see, let's do that. And we might need to extend this a little bit, but we can do that, that's fine. And we are just going to hit Command D, and hitting Command D will replicate that again. So now we have those little pieces. And the great thing about the pen tool is we can actually grab the pen tool and come in here and add anchor points. You can see that on this path, when I have it selected, if I hit plus, I can click there and add in an anchor point. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I can delete that other one using the direct selection tool, hitting A and clicking on that point and just deleting it. So we're going to do that for all of these right here. And then I also am going to add in a little bit extra on these so that it connects. And you can do that again. You're just clicking there and it will start a new path, or sorry, it will continue that path, and you can add in more anchor points. There we go. So now we have all of our little pasta anchor points. What I'm going to do is I am just going to right click again, transform, reflect, and I'm going to go to vertical and hit copy. And there we go. We have a nice little rotini kind of pasta. Let's bring this down. There we go. It's a fun little shape. There we go. And maybe we want our pasta to look a little bit different. So you can maybe just grab one of these and then you can do maybe just one swirl, right? We just want to do these ends. And again, we are going to start, and then we are going to say we're heading in this direction and going up. There we go. Add that little piece of pasta. And we are starting here, heading in this direction, and going down. So there we go. Now we've got a nice little noodle pasta, and it's all about placing those anchor points and telling it which direction you're heading and how much you are heading in that direction. Next, we can just grab our pieces of pasta and start dropping them on this plate. We can do a whole bunch of different versions. We can add in these kind of line versions that we have. So go ahead and make your pasta, or you can make something else using the pen tool and drop it on your dish and then post that on Discord as your final challenge to show, not your final challenge, sorry, your final piece of this challenge using the pen tool. So I'd love to see you again. bit.ly/AI Discord is where you'll be. Go ahead, pop in there, drop in your challenges. It's always great to see the work that you are creating. And people, again, are still dropping stuff in there, which is really fun. Yesterday we did a similar thing, but we worked with gradient maps, which is really fun. No, sorry, freeform gradients. So to recap, today we created illustrated food and placed it on a dish using the pen tool. In the pen tool, again, we made sure that we used pasta so that it was starting in one place using these anchor points as corners. It's telling us that it's starting here and stopping here, going from this place to that place. So when we work here, you'll see that it has these anchor points saying it's starting here. It is on its way down, doing this much of a curve. Then it's starting here and going down this much into this next point, which is heading then again down in that direction. So it's all about where are your points and where are they leading to. So play around with the pen tool. And again, I will see you back the exact same time, 11:30 tomorrow. I'm unsure if we're on Behance or if we're on YouTube, but I will see you on either place. Make sure you join our Discord, and that will give you updates and announcements of when we're going live, where we're going live, and all of the information that you need to know for your daily creative challenges. We still have a couple more left, so we have Thursday and Friday that we'll be doing these daily creative challenges. And again, my name is Andrew Hockrattle. It has been a pleasure to hang out with you today. I'll be back again tomorrow and again on Friday with these challenges. You can follow along for any other times that I'm live on Behance at hawk.co on Behance, or even on Instagram. I'll be posting there letting you know when I'm going live. So thanks so much for tuning in today. I had a great time and hopefully you did too. I will see you tomorrow on Behance. Thank you, Jack. Behance.net/live. I'll see you tomorrow. tomorrow at 11:30. Bye. Have fun with your challenges.